guys, Bill the Kansas Flamingo Chef. Welcome to another edition. Today we're going to do something kind of fun. If you take a look on the cutting board here, I've got pork tenderloin. I've also got some Gouda cheese. This is just smoked Gouda that I chopped up. I've got some minced garlic. Then over here I've got a little slice of heaven, bacon. I've also got a few seasonings. I've got some Tabasco, some chicken chickalika bam bam as it's called. It's a fire and smoke seasoning. It's just a chicken rub. I've got some Italian seasoning, and I've also got the blend, which is salt, pepper, and garlic. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make two different pork tenderloins. One, I'm just going to coat with this stuff. This was recommended to me by a viewer, and I wanted to give it a try. I'm not real big, honestly, on a lot of pre-made jerk seasonings, but I'm told this stuff's pretty good, so we're going to give it a shot. It's called G. Hughes's Original Sugar-Free Jerk. We'll find out. Anyway, so I'm going to do that to one. The other one we're going to have a little fun with. We're going to stuff it with Gouda and garlic. So all I'm going to do here, we're just going to make some pockets in this pork. And you can just put them at random spots. Okay? And once you have your pockets, just with your knife, all you got to do is take a piece of some garlic and a piece of Gouda cheese and just kind of spread these pockets out a little bit and just stuff things down in there. And you don't have to have both in each opening if you don't want to. I like more of the cheese. The garlic is more just to season it. But I love Gouda. If you're not a fan of Gouda, you can use a different kind of cheese, but I can't imagine why you wouldn't like Gouda cheese. Man, yeah, as my youngest son likes to say, it's just Gouda. So, as we fill these holes with some cheese, randomly with some garlic, occasionally you gotta stick your finger down in there to open that hole up a little bit, otherwise stuff just isn't gonna go in. This isn't rocket science, as you can see. One more incision right here. Okay. Once you get that all done and stuffed the way you want it, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap it with that beautiful bacon. So let's set this one off to the side. Just start making yourself a row of strips of bacon. Now, I'm a believer that you should use a lot of bacon, personally, for two reasons. One, I love the flavor, and two, it holds it all together. So I've got enough bacon here to wrap the entire loin, and I'm going to turn it cheese side down to the bacon and just start wrapping the bacon around it. If you've got some toothpicks to hold this together, by all means use them. But you're going to find out you probably won't have to have them if you do this right. There's There's no real science to this. I do like to stretch the bacon a little bit just so it'll kind of wrap over and around. Alright, and once you get that tenderloin covered in the bacon, just kind of press it together a little bit with your hands so that it all binds. And then we're going to go over it with a little bit of this blend. You can just use salt and pepper if you prefer. I like this stuff because it's got the ground garlic in with the salt and pepper. And a little bit of the Italian seasoning. All this is just a little bit of flavor. Okay? And then I'm going to put a little of the Chicka Licka Bam Bam on here to give it a little smokiness. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing. I'm going to squeeze it together with my hands so the bacon's all sticking together. And do the same thing again to the other side. Now, the very last thing I do before I take it to the smoker, and actually you want this to sit and just kind of bind together for probably about 15 minutes before you put it on the heat. But I'm going to put just a little bit of Tabasco across the top. Okay. Well, it's going to go on the smoker at 225 and it's going to cook for 2 to 3 hours, just depending. You want to get it up to about 150-ish degrees. Now, if you like your pork a little more well done, then cook it to 160. But don't shoot for that 175, 180 range. You're just going to ruin it. So, and if you want an internal probe in that, that's not a terrible idea. And I'm going to cook it to about 145 and take it off and let it rest. In the meantime, let's put this other loin together. Okay, for the second loin, all I'm going to do is just roll this pork in this jerk seasoning. No rocket science here. Just pour some over it. Roll it around. You don't need to smother this stuff because this is actually a jerk wing sauce. I don't have real high hopes for this, to be honest with you, but we're going to see what happens. Now, as this smokes, I will probably add some more jerk to it because you can just brush it on. And this stuff smells really mild. So I have a feeling it's going to taste good but not be hot enough. Let's put this stuff on the smoker and see what happens. Alright, it's been a couple hours. The pork is now off the smoker. And there is what it looks like. Man, that looks good. I'm going to cut this open here in a bit and eat it with family. But I also want to show you the other one. So this is the result of the jerk sauce. I got to tell you that the flavor is awesome, but really the flavor is great because of the pellet mixture that I used, which was a combination of competition pellets and then an additional 20% of apple pellets. As far as the sauce itself, there really isn't a whole lot of flavor that cooked through on this. It's more smoky than it is jerk. But I did use some of the leftover jerk sauce as a dipping sauce. It's not half bad. So, as always, if there's something you would like me to cook, a favorite recipe of your own you'd like to see, or like this with the sauce that was recommended by a viewer, if you think of something I ought to try, let me know. As always, eat fabulous. I'll see you next time.